Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Daily Market Update Show. And today I'll be doing analysis on QQQ and SPY, as well as the same six big tech stocks: Tesla, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and Nvidia. So I was going over a couple of other tickers. Take a quick look at AMD and ABGO due to the play that I made yesterday. I talked about in my previous video that I shorted the semiconductor sector, so I added XOXXS, which is the 3x leveraged short side ETF for XOXX. So if you wanted to check that out, take a look at yesterday's video. I'll put the link in the descriptions or in the comments, or you can just click on my profile. And as well as I'm putting the timestamps in the comments on YouTube, so you can just skip to whatever ticker you like to look at. All right, let's get into it. So right now we are start off with the QQQ. So QQQ, we had a red day today, but still want to let everyone know that we are still in an uptrend in every time frame other than the small ones. So we are in the daily, weekly, monthly, 4 hours still uptrend, still intact. Even the hourly, let's say hourly is in a neutral until we break this pivot. Then we will be in a downtrend. Or you can say this is just one move. This is the after hours, and we're still in a hourly uptrend because this is one move down as well. We were still in an hourly uptrend. As long as the hourly uptrend is continuing intact and bulls are still in full control. This pullback is still very, very, very healthy and no signs of red flags at the moment. So that's what we got to be cautious about. But if, let's say, Monday is a holiday, so we don't have trading on Monday. So let's say Tuesday comes in and we break this pivot right here at 303. That will confirm a hourly trend change back to neutral. And if we do have a candle bounce up and then break it, that's the hourly downtrend confirmed. We need to set a pivot for it to be a downtrend. This is one move. So if, let's say, the next candle bounces above the prior candle right there, and then we break the prior low right there, that's hourly downtrend confirmed. We zoom out. When hourly downtrend confirms, we zoom out to the 4 hours. Then we look for that pivot to break on the last pivot for the 4 hour uptrend. So this is a 4 hour uptrend intact. If that breaks, then we go back to a 4 hour neutral trend. So before that happens, there's zero red flags for the bulls at the moment. You can still, we're holding this 12 EMA looking line, teal looking line, and as well as the 4 hour uptrend is still intact. Just like this drop right here, could just healthy drop, healthy pullback, and healthy pullback until the trend changes, the structure of the chart breaks. So need to be cautious of shorting. Obviously, QQ is extended, and all of us want to short. And I already did a short on the semiconductor sector, trying to nail the top. But we shouldn't be doing that. And so I have a tight stop loss set. So far, we are in a green day today, and not like my stock is green, not the day. QQQ was red because I'm shorting. That's why I'm green. So if let's say Tuesday, we bounce, another leg up, then I was wrong. It stopped out for a small loss. If you want to check that yesterday's video out, the detailed trading plan on my short, you can check that out. But that's why I'm saying every trend is still intact for the bulls. So what we want to see for the bears is that we drop another day, Tuesday, and now we have a big enough room for the next bounce to potentially be a lower high, meaning this high is lower than this pivot high, and that will give us a daily downtrend. Before that even happens, we want the hourly to do that first, hourly time frame. So we want the smaller time frames to do that first for us to potentially shape that up in the longer time frame. The bears don't even have that yet. So this drop could potentially do that. Say on Tuesday, we have another leg down, then that next bounce for the hourly chart will give us a chance for the bears to see if they want to take over or not. If they don't, bulls continue to buy the dip, right? It's just a small dip, just like back here, all these small dips, right? just one initial move right here as well, right? One initial move. Bears cannot take over on that downtrend break of this, then bulls take over back again. Same as this. If the bears cannot take over to form that downtrend right there, bulls will just continue to buy the dip. And that's what we'll be watching again. If this drop, bears cannot break that prior pivot low, it would just be another dip buying for the bulls. But we got to be a little bit cautious, of course, since the AAII sentiment data is at 45.2%. It came in yesterday, and meaning if we have 2 weeks of bullishness now. When this first came out, 44.5, I was saying that bullishness can stay bullishness due to the momentum. So, but if we have 2 weeks of it, then rolling into next week, especially today, all the OPEX, all the option volume expired. So going into next week, potentially we will have a switch in sentiments and data, as well as the price. So we'll see if we get more bears showing up or not, due to this week being the most hedge week for a while. That's why there was a lot of volume on the hedging side that expired this week. So that's done now, and we'll see how next week will shape up. And same thing, this didn't change. Hold rate hike for the rest of the week of the year. And the only earning I'm looking at next week is none, except FedEx. Maybe give us a little bit of sentiment of how how well the earnings do. Will give us a little bit of a sentiment on how consumers are still buying, and the shipping is either still going up or down. So we'll see about that. And that, there's not much earnings to look at anymore because we're heading into Q3 pretty soon. And all right, let's take a look at SPY. SPY very similar for our chart, still full bull control, just like QQQ, still holding 12 EMA. 12 EMA, it's a good guy when it's showing bounces pretty much perfectly off of it for the past couple of weeks. So that'll be our hide, as well as we need that hourly downtrend. SPY has given us one or not. Actually, SPY did have an hourly downtrend right there confirmed. We zoom out. Now we're looking at. I gave us an hourly downtrend. Now we're zooming to the 4-hour. So 4-hour needs to break this pivot for us to confirm a back to a neutral trend as well. So we'll see if SPY can do that or not. And on daily chart, SPY is still very healthy. Other than this potential top looking, we didn't test yesterday's high, and we rejected it due to QQQ being weaker. Pulling back SPY. So what I'm thinking is, if this daily downtrend does shape up, where we get that daily downtrend going, we'll zoom out to the weekly for weekly consolidation. Because weekly consolidation is definitely due, just like QQQ's weekly consolidation. See how much it ripped. Just straight one move up from this weekly consolidation. This was a weekly consolidation right here. This pullback consolidation. Now I ripped another one right here, consolidation, and another rip. This one rip is like the size of this two rip with the two weekly consolidation. So now we are likely gonna, pull back a little bit or go sideways, just like this two right here. That's what we'll be looking for. And when the daily shapes up the downtrend, then we'll know the most likely scenario in the next couple of weeks will be that weekly consolidation. And we're testing this structure here as well. So there's a good chance that we pull back here. It's not gonna just go back all the way down here. What it means is just see weekly consolidation pulling back to cool things down, as well as starting to shape up sideways base for the next move. Obviously, let's say we cool down for a bit, go sideways. The way knows obviously know where the next move is going to be, but the most likely scenario is going to be another move up because of the trend that we're going. That's the most probable scenario. But if we do break down, then you'll know just by seeing where it's the way the flag breaks, just like this. This is a bull flag, and then right when it breaks right there, it's a confirmed weekly bull flag breaking. You can add over there if you are a breakout trader, as well as this is another one right here. So if it shapes out like this and then it breaks down, then we can start shorting, or obviously we can start shorting here too as well, but we'll see if that daily downtrend forms before that. just the longer outlook. But so we got to go back to the hourly first, as well as the daily, which we just took a quick look at. And so SPY into next week, I want to see us form a 4-hour, breaking that 4-hour 12 EMA first. If you're a bear, if you're a bull, obviously you want to bounce off of it and go continue higher. And you will need QQQ to do that too. So if QQQ doesn't bounce from this far 12 EMA, SPY is not going to bounce with it. So we'll see if the tech sector will continue to be able to keep on going, making new all-time highs after new all-time highs. So that's when we take a look at Apple, Amazon, Google in a second there. So we'll see how their structures look like at the moment. Give us a better understanding if we will go higher or not. All right, sticking to Nvidia. Nvidia, yesterday I was talking about if we do break this double top, because there's not much resistance up here. It's just we don't have any historical price actions. All we have is this little couple of days at this all-time highs range. So if we break this all-time high, I was saying that we'll likely have another move up. But see, we broke it and we couldn't get over it. There's not much bull follow through anymore. Broke it up here, right when market open, bounce. I'm just gonna go into the 15 minutes. You guys see there. Try to get over here, couldn't. Try to get over here, couldn't. Try to get over here, couldn't. And this was a ascending triangle with a bear break. So it was relatively stronger in the morning compared to QQQ right there. Or when this pattern broke, bearish, there, it started to become weaker than QQQ. So we only had a couple of hours, like 3 hours for this relative weakness. If this continues into Tuesday, then this could potentially mark a temporary top for Nvidia. Obviously, if who knows what's going to go in the long term, but temporary, it would shape up a top for me due to us actually breaking prior resistance, no follow through, and coming back in. And the very first thing I want to see from the bears is actually breaking these two pivots and to come back into the prior ranges. So you can see this cluster of range right here. So if we bears break through this, coming back down here, then that's a little bit of a red flag now for the bulls. So that's the very first support bulls have. It's just this little cluster. And resistance, there's not much either. It's just this because we're just all-time highs. So we'll see who's going to be now. Into the end of the day, it's a slight win for the bears today. A break with no follow through from the bulls here, and then coming back into the range. So no like serious red flags or anything at the moment, because obviously every single trend is still in favor for the bulls, right? So we need more structure changes overall in the chart to see some weakness before we get in a short, especially a stock on Nvidia. Just no point shorting this, because just pick on something that's weaker other than picking the stronger stock in the market, right? Until we do see a weakness in the chart, then we can start getting into it. AMD, on the other hand, is a lot weaker than Nvidia. And I was saying this, if you break that pivot here today, then it's a daily downtrend shaping up, which it confirmed. So this was the initial move down. This was the bounce above the prior high candle. Couldn't get over it, sold off below the prior lows candle. Now it's a daily downtrend confirmed. Tuesday I talked about that this was a red flag because it was a weekly bull flag on the weekly time frame. A weekly bull flag breaking up, confirming a bull break, and absolutely zero follow through from the bulls after that break. And you can see on the hourly chart, when we broke that right here, it was a instant sell-off back to that range. That's a red flag for me. Now we are back under it, so we'll see if the bears continue or not. So next support for bulls, right? All this cluster right there, around 116, 117 range, where this bull bounce off of here like 6 times. So when we come down to it, I'm going to anticipate a bounce And then when that bounces, if it's a shallow bounce, and then on the smaller time frames, for example, like the 5-minute time frame, that's what we bounced to here, right? And on the 15-minute time frame, we form a 15-minute downtrend, and that's likely setting the lower high here, just like this one right here, setting down there, pushing bounce here, and then for the next move, obviously QQQ is going to come and play. If QQQ is hitting new all-time highs after all-time highs, obviously potentially we can bounce more. If QQQ is red and this is weak, it's going to drop even more than QQQ, just like it did today. 3.3%, QQQ was only down 0.7%, so it is relatively weaker. All right, I gotta go through this quick. Tesla, relative strength today, up 1.8%, holding really well, and we filled the gap today. So that's potentially could be a final target for the bulls, and we'll see if it continues. It's impressive. It was one day relative weaker, and then it just everybody bought the dip right here on the very first hourly oversold dip after the huge move, and we filled the gap. So we'll see if once it goes sideways here, it's favoring the bulls because you just make this huge move, and the grids can't even dip for more than one day, and then just go sideways for the bulls. It's essentially a good sign for the bulls for the potential next move up. So we'll see if we hold this range for the bulls. For the bears, I wouldn't short the stock either because right now the momentum is in favor of the bulls. So we'll see. If you wanted to short, you just wait for this. Let's say you want to short Tesla, right? And you missed this first move, 13% down, right? This 3-day move, right? This is what I'm talking about. The bigger the drop, the next bounce, it's going to set that lower high, meaning this high is lower than this high. And guess what? If you shorted just right here, instead of that, if you just waited and be patient, shorted right here instead of over here, trying to nail the top, you have another 28% move downside just from this next move, right? So you don't want to try to just short into a bull train, and right? Tesla has another leg up after it just consolidates and goes up like that. But if you don't, then you're likely going to be caught for a while. So yeah, always wait for the move. Always wait for the structural change in the market before anything happens. Then you can make that next move. Apple, not much to break down. It's going all-time highs after all-time highs, and it's still holding that 2-day EMA 12 for as long as I can remember. And that teal looking line just on the 2-day time frame. So every time next thing I'm looking at is going for it to come down here and bounce off of it again. So we'll see if that happens. And if it continues to do that, QQQ will keep going as well. So Apple is the strongest with the Microsoft on the big techs. And Amazon, it's also weak with Google. It's couldn't break above that cluster. Broke above it right there. Couldn't get over it. Tried it again in the next 3 days. Still couldn't get over it. So now if we do start breaking these prior pivot lows coming down here, then that's starting to shape up a red flag for me. That would be a sign that we can potentially form a daily downtrend. So now, no pivots have been broken yet, so it's still no huge red flag yet. Continue to follow this trend. Google, the weakest. Same thing, just like Amazon. Google bull break, black follow if came back into it. So now this quadruple bottom, still my guide. If we do break that, daily downtrend is formed due to up, bounce, up. That's a daily downtrend confirmed. This quadruple bottom or not. Bulls obviously want to break above this quadruple top. So very simple for Google. Just to be looking into next week. First off, broke to an all-time highs, and where's that blue line from? Let me take a look. Okay, that was just the all-time highs and resistance, and so we broke the all-time highs and came back to it, and we'll see. This is price discovery action. Not a lot of volume trade up here. We're back to this range. What I want to see for the bulls is we bounce off of it here, around this level right there. 319, which is the prior resistance. No red flags for it either.